Welcome to day 2 of Queer Chella. My name is Shane Ivan Nash, and I'm a DJ and community organizer for over 10 years here in Los Angeles. Today, we're continuing our lineup of local and national Black, trans, and queer LGBTQ+ folks. We will bring on each artist beforehand to chat, and they will step back and create a special performance to celebrate this 50th year of Pride. And some artists will dedicate their music in honor of the Black Lives Matter movement. So let me not waste any more of your time and get this show started. Our first guests are very special today. A New York-based artist that they came out of history. It's a same-sex couple to participate in The Voice. I'm telling you, you are about to watch some history. These gentlemen have been on the cover of the Fight magazine. I know them personally and love them. They've played Pride events across the U.S., and we consider them a symbol of love, harmony in these times that are leading the world by example. So please let me welcome Adam and Jerome. OneUp Duo. What's going on, guys? How are you doing today?
So good. We're so happy to be here with you.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So my first question is, and I'm sure it's on everybody's mind, did OneUp Duo come first, or did the relationship blossom? How does that work? What happened? How did you meet? What's the story?
Oh, yeah. Well, OneUp was kind of it came out of the relationship. So we met almost 3 years ago in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We were there to film a music video for a vocal group that I used to sing with, and he was hired on to be a special guest and to be my love interest in a music video. And the thing was, it was like instant connection, instant chemistry, and we kind of knew right away that this was going to become a thing, even though we both had to get out of some situationships to get to the point where we were together. But yeah, and then it just came so naturally because we both loved singing and music so much that we were always just singing together in the apartment. One thing led to another. We posted videos to Instagram, which is where a casting person from The Voice found us and then led us to that whole experience.
Yeah, it was incredible. And it still is.
Yeah.
Wow, wow. What about you, Jerome? You got anything, any secrets that are unturned? I know there's something there.
No, not really. I mean, I was super awkward when we first met, but I knew right away that Adam was going to be the person that I was going to marry. And I told my best friend as soon as I flew back to New York after we did the video shoot that I met the person that I'm going to marry. And here we are. We're celebrating. Actually, we'll be married a year. We're celebrating our year anniversary on June 19th. Juneteenth.
What? Congratulations. Yeah. That's amazing. You know your cover is all over The Office and The Fight, and we see it every morning. I love seeing you guys together.
It's so awesome.
Oh, it really is.
We saw banners when we were in Palm Springs with like the cover on it, and it was so cool. Like, oh, that's us.
Yeah. So I really wanted to ask, you know, these past few weeks, there's been so much going on, and what does this really mean to you guys as a couple?
I can speak a little bit on that.
Please.
Yeah, these past few weeks have been, I mean, just a roller coaster of emotions. You know, I wake up and I'm sad, and then you go through waves of like angry and all the things in between, just confusion. But it's been awesome to have a husband who knows his privilege and is very aware of it. And he's been so understanding, and he's really been a rock for me, especially dealing with everything that's happening right now. So I'm just really grateful that we are at a place that we can get through these types of things together, and we have each other to lean on with all the craziness. It's nice to have a home base that you can feel safe.
Yeah. I also like to add, I think times like this where it's just so everyone has a voice, everyone can really speak up for what they believe in, and I think that by nature neither one of us are activists, and I do know people that are professional activists or people that just comes really naturally to, and I think in a time like this, for us even, it's like we're just being so much more intentional about the voice that we're using and the things that we're saying, because even if we don't consider ourselves activists, the love that we share and the marriage that we are in together is in a form activism, because it's going against what we feel like the world really wants right now, especially in our country, being interracial, being gay, all of these things. And it's just, I don't know, it's such a, it's the most beautiful thing to be able to take a step back and look at all of the people that have come before us, all of these activists, all the people that have followed their passion in that way to create change, to lead us to where we are, where we're actually able to be in this relationship in public. So it's just kind of like a whole mix of different sides of this, of activism and protesting, and then finding out exactly what our voice is and how we can use it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. So kind of to follow up more on that, you know, in this moment of history with Black Lives Matter really starting to gain momentum in the mainstream,
Yes.
What do you think musicians can really do to come out in support of the current issues? And what do you think the best steps are?
Well, I think what a lot of musicians do, and artists, they are they're expressing their feelings through their art, and that's where the message can lie. And, you know, being an activist doesn't just have to mean that you're out there on the front lines. And, you know, there are so many ways that you can use your voice. And as performers and artists, I mean, we have things to say, but maybe our approach is different. You know, we can write a song with a message in it that is pertaining to what's happening, and music lovers are more willing to listen to that a lot of times because the message can be clear. Because I feel like a lot of times with the protests, and sometimes it can get mixed up with what people are really supposed to unite on. So I think the music and any type of art is expression, and you can use that to send a message.
Yeah. And I also think that the beautiful thing about artists, musicians, whatever form of art that you express yourself through, we all have had an opportunity to get out of wherever we grew up and see a bigger world and be around people that aren't like us. And I think that's the most powerful thing for musicians, is that we perform with people from all different backgrounds from all over the world, and that has to change you. You can't leave your home and then enter that kind of world and stay the same person.
Right.
So I think in that way, it's our responsibility as musicians, as artists, to go back home and have conversations with people from where we grew up that maybe didn't get out, because they're the ones that are still holding on to those small world beliefs, small-minded beliefs, that because they haven't been challenged, they haven't been around enough people that aren't exactly like them. And so I think not only the music and the performance, but in the grassroots sense, where we can go back to where we came from and have real conversations, because that is kind of like the base layer where this change needs to start from.
Definitely. You know, there's always that famous Bob Marley quote that, you know, it's the one thing that hits you, that there's no pain in its music. And I feel like, honestly, that's the perfect transition to lead you all over to start performing, because I would really love to get this show started. I saw you all in Palm Springs, and I am ready for this performance. So let me not waste any more of this time. Let's get that started. Let's go, because I am just excited to see this right now.
Good to us.
So what we're going to perform today is actually our very first single. Is a duo. The song is called Call My Name.
All right.
It's got that nice beat.
I feel like I'm cruising. Nice little rock top.
I know I occupy your mind. Right now it feels like there's no room left. So go and take your space and time. I know a crowded place ain't what you're into, but if you let me show you, I'm not here to tie you down. I'll be the end to let you even higher. Call my name, and I will run to you. Just call my name, and I will run to you, Ooh. It's clear to see you still don't know that love and life are one and never separate. You set the pace, I'll take it slow. Take it slow. The way I'll do you ain't the way they did. The ocean has a current, the moonlight has a light, and when the sun is rising, I will hear you call my name, and I will run to you. Just call my name, and I will run to you, baby. Don't you look no further than me. Maybe I'm crazy, but I know this love can make us free. Baby, I've been waiting, save me when you're done to fade. Yeah. Call my name, just call my name. Call my name, just call my name. Hey. Call my name, just call my name. Ready, baby? Yeah. Call my name, baby. I will run to you. I will run to you. Baby, baby, baby. Oh, yeah. Call my name, just call my name. Whatever you need to do, yeah. I'll go running, baby. Running, baby. Yeah.
Wow. Yes. Thank you. All right, so the people, they got to know where to find you on Instagram, so please plug that for them so they know how to find you, follow you, hashtag you, all that. Is it OneUp Duo?
Okay,
what
yeah,
is it? Spell it for the folks.
Super easy. OneUp Duo, spelled OneUp Duo.
OneUp Duo.
That's
All
on
right.
Instagram. We also have a website, www.oneupduo.com. Facebook is just OneUp Duo. And yeah, feel free to reach out, and we'd love to hear from you guys.
Definitely
Thanks
make
again for
sure to
having
hit
me.
that follow button. Thank you guys so much for coming out, showing up, and ooh, those high notes. Damn, you were taking me to this church with that. Thank you for it. Oh my God, thank you for giving this to the community and spending some time with us today. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and thank you all for joining us.
Thank you. See you
Bye,
guys soon.
everybody. Thank you.
Our next guests are Los Angeles-based artists. She is a 2-time top 10 and 4-time Billboard charting dance artist and performed at the New York and Los Angeles Fashion Week. Please welcome Jaki Nelson.
Hello.
And he is a self-made artist and entrepreneur. You've seen him at Pride events across the country. Please welcome Joey Suarez. All right, folks, how are you doing today?
We are fantastic.
Amazing.
Awesome. So I hear you've performed at Pride events everywhere, and I really want to know, what is the difference between the audiences at Pride and the audiences in the mainstream?
I don't discriminate against crowds, but I will say that the Pride crowd is generally more animated,
More colorful.
generally more fun.
I mean, as I always say in that, it's a common question, is that the difference between a mainstream crowd and a Pride stream crowd is like night and day, because festivals are during the day, and mainstream events when you're headlining are very late at night. So it's a whole nother show. If you go to a Pride show, like, we don't get all our flashy lights and our big fog clouds and our, fancy clothes to change. No, I just put on the gayest thing I can find. I look like a regurgitated rainbow. And that's what it's amazing. It's a wonderful, especially just going from, like, you'll go from a small crowd to a large crowd and the feelings are the same. It just, like, it doesn't matter how many people there are. You just leave with love. Love.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, so much love.
Love it. So, we're going through a pandemic, economic downturn, and now protest. What is your worldview looking like at the moment? What are you seeing over there?
I think that I've never been so proud to be an American because we have this unique opportunity that I thought as a child that we missed, to get to really stand up for our people, our neighbors, our friends in a way that I part of me thought I would never get to do. And so getting to go to the protests and the marches, I walked 9 miles on Sunday total marching for Black Lives Matter. And I'm just so grateful that I got to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's amazing to be a part of a time where you get to rewrite the history books. And I say rewrite because, so many of us were taught that these things were of the past, and I don't believe that's true. And we're a part of a generation that's taken that upon themselves to burn the history books and say, nope, we're not done yet. It's time to, carry this through. And I think that's an amazing thing. And there's so much that needs to be brought to light, and there's so much room for improvement. And honestly, we're seeing more change in a short amount of time than we've seen in 50 years, since the civil rights movement started, in my opinion, right? It didn't end there. It started there. And we're just finishing it, right? We're gonna close this out, and we better, because I will not rest until this is over. I can tell you that. I'm gonna have a very hard time posting about anything else until this is over.
I know, it's such a weird time, because I have all these really cool things going on in my life, but I just feel like I don't want to talk about them right now. It just feels off topic.
Yeah, it's amazing. We also have several major projects that are all on hold just because we're like, you know what, this is not the time. There's a better platform. There's a better use of our privilege, if you will, that we can lend to the communities that actually need it. And that's what just where I find myself these days.
Yeah. It's definitely important to take a pause right now and really uplift those folks that really haven't had that light shined on them. And, Jody, we've noticed that your social media accounts are just covered in BLM support. Do you feel musicians maybe might feel pressure to come out during this civil uprising? How do you feel about that?
I mean, I've definitely felt pressure from other musicians and other people who've thought at the time I was being said silent. And it wasn't that. I was handling, stuff in my personal life, and this kind of a thing affects me personally. And a lot of people would think, oh, you're white, how would that pertain to you? And it's like, well, a lot of my nieces and nephews, brothers and sisters are not white. They're actually Black or Chinese or Hispanic, because I'm actually 100% Hispanic. So I'm a fortunate enough person to be born very white passing, but in my personal family, these are real fears. And I had to balance out what I thought the right message for me was, and that kind of gave me the message that I give other artists who reach out to me. They're like, hey, you seem so convinced at what you believe in. How do I find that conviction? And I told them that the answer is your community. It's not me. I'm just another white man who's learning my lesson and my place in this world and how to fix it. If you're like me, then you need to turn to your family and turn to your friends and turn to your community and see what they're doing. If they're calling you to arms, you pick it up.
Absolutely.
If they're asking you to help them with their bills, help them with their families, protect them, you do whatever it takes. Because I'm doing the same thing for my family. And that's where we should all be. If we treat each other like we're family and we really start to take these problems seriously, we might actually change the world for the better. We might actually do this. So that's where I'm coming from. So don't be extreme like me, but definitely do your part. Have an answer. Don't be caught with nothing.
Absolutely. I think it's a really great opportunity right now to be able to stand up for what's right and to be able to go out and demand justice for a situation that should just never have happened, and it happens over and over again. So we need to demand change.
Yeah,
totally. Right now.
Oh my God, yeah. It's so hard not to feel that. And as you guys know, my niece is actually interviewing with y'all, and she's a young African-American woman, and she's been such a light in my heart and in my eyes, as an inspiration really in so many ways, because her perspective matters. This is her world. We're leaving this to that generation, and they need to know that we're leaving it for the better. And right now, as a young woman, all she can see is basically what was happening 50 years ago, right? It's no longer on paper. This is real news. And it's important for me as her uncle and as somebody who's a public figure to put out the right message that this will be the end of it. This is for a reason. This is going to end for the better. Otherwise, it just looks like we're in chaos, and that's not what it is. This is liberation.
Really not.
No, this is liberation, and change is chaotic, and it's just what it is.
This is what democracy looks like.
I love it. I love the tag. So I feel like, that's a perfect transition because music is so healing, and we'd love to just let you take over the stage and perform for us. We're really excited to see what you have. I hear it's a new song, or not quite a new song, but a new rendition of it, and I want to see it. I'm sure the folks are waiting, so let's get it rolling.
Yeah. All right, so we've got this brand new song. It's called Changing History, and we are putting it out next week. And we wrote it about the Pride movement, but we realized after we wrote it that it could be applied to any group of subjugated people. And so when we put it out, we've decided that we're going to be donating all the proceeds to Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Because why? That's just what it is.
That's where it needs to go. There's just no questions.
It's just what it is.
Yep.
Wow. Just getting confused, honestly.
There's history.
All right, this is Changing History.
Let's change.
Bang on the beat, the bass and the thunder, battle the odds till they start to wonder who I am. Don't tell me that I can't. Breaking the rules that made us afraid, pushing beyond the chains I refuse. I'm not taking your approval. Never close your eyes, gotta claim my rights. Gonna take what's mine, it's going down now and never. Gonna lead the line, made up my mind. It's going down now and never. Woke up my inner daydream. Our secrets out on mainstream. Breathe in the moment while we're changing history. You and me. Changing history. You and me. You and me.
Wearing the weight of writing the future. Don't wait to find the way to who you're really meant to be. Come on and follow me. Never close your eyes, gotta claim our rights. Gotta take what's mine, it's going down now or never. Gotta lead the line, made up my mind. It's going down now or never. Woke up my inner daydream. Our secrets out on mainstream. Breathe in the moment while we're changing history. You and me. Woke up my inner daydream. Our secrets out on mainstream. Breathe in the moment while we're changing history. You and me. Changing history, you and me, you and me.
Oh my God. Wow. Thank you, Jackie and Joey. That was so amazing.
Thank you
Where
so much.
can the
We're so
people
excited
find
to
you
put
on
that one
Instagram?
out.
Please let them know because we got to find that track.
All right. We'll post on the socials.
Well, you can find me at Joey, JoeyWSuarez on everything. That's Suarez. Yes, I know it's confusing. I am Hispanic. And Jackie?
And you can find me at Instagram at Jaki, Jaki, four-letter word, much like all my other favorites. Jaki Nelson, Nelson, or Facebook, Jaki Nelson, ENT, same with Twitter. My website is JakiNelson.com.
Yeah. Find us, guys.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Make sure to follow, make sure to find their website, support, and thank you so much for joining us today, Jackie, and sharing your talents, and thank you so much, community, for showing up and watching this amazing show. Have a great night.
Have a great night. Thank you so much.
Let's talk about what it means to be an ally. And by ally, you don't have to be a straight person to be an ally to the LGBT community. Also, you can't anoint yourself an ally. Others make that determination about you, one individual at a time. To qualify, you must demonstrate trustworthiness. Trust is confidence in the face of risk. that the other person will do the right thing. It's important to be an ally within our own community and continue to educate ourselves to the intersectionalities of our community and share our platforms to uplift those whom are the most vulnerable. Our next guest is a person we believe deserves recognition and has a bright future. He's a local Black trans artist, and we believe you're going to love his music. Please welcome Graffitti Notes SP. How's it going today, Graffitti?
Hey, what's going on? How's it going? I'm good. I'm glad to be here. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. So let's start with a random question. I want to know, what has been the craziest purchase you've made on lockdown?
I'm really not that exciting. The craziest thing that I had to get was my a new MIDI controller for my software, so I can continue making music without the stress of trying to play chords on a keyboard on a laptop.
Definitely. You told me that is it a weighted keyboard, or what kind of keyboard is it?
It's weighted just like a regular piano, so like it feels, I don't know, it feels real when you actually press down when you're playing your chords. It doesn't feel like you're just clunking into like a little Toys R Us kids organ or something. You know what I mean?
Fisher Price set or something going on there. I love it. I love it. Upgrading, next level. Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about something a little more important. How has the past few weeks resonated with you, especially as a Black trans male?
As a Black trans male, it has resonated with me in many different ways, and like, coming from my own situations and experiences, thank God it wasn't in that way. Like, I understand, like, I know racism is real just as much as God is real, just as much as sliced bread is like the best invention ever, you know what I'm saying? But, all jokes aside, it put me in a place, in a state of mind, at first I was so worried. Like, I feel like a bit of anxiety when I'm just crossing the street to go to the store. If I see like a what I call back home, we call them rhinos, the police SUVs. It's sad to say that, like, especially with Black trans women in general, like, having to get up every day, leaving your house every day, and worry if this might be your last day. That's not living, man. That's surviving. That's just like hoping you getting by. And if you living like that, then like you're missing a lot, and it's not by choice. It's like we have people in authority figures that abuse power, and stuff like this happens. You can't blame the people for getting angry and getting tired. Stop killing us, period. You shouldn't have to say that. You shouldn't have to even think like that. Why do we have to tell you to stop treating us like animals? We're not animals, we're human beings. Right is right, wrong is wrong. And if you're wrong, you need to own up to it at this point. And check yourself. Evaluate yourself. What is wrong with you? Why are you doing what you're doing? That's sick. And I'm sure that in some occasions, this is just them getting caught. This isn't the beginning. It needs to stop on all ends.
Truly.
George Floyd, then Tony McDade, and then our sisters, Rhea and Dominique, was found, like when I read that report, they found her body off of the river, her limbs were severed. You're sick, man. You got, like, people need to own up to who they are, and it's like a lot of the times in that case, it could be the fact that it could be a straight Black man doesn't understand that a trans woman is a woman and is driven by society and what society thinks, and feels like this is proving yourself. Nah, man. You being a man and standing up for who you are and standing up for who you love is proving yourself. that is cowardly. Period. Be who you are. Stop being ashamed. Stop letting people run your name through the dirt. You ain't gotta hear that. Being in a certain position on the platform, people gonna talk about you all day. You're gonna hear all kind of crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's not making your life. That's not paying your bills. They're not doing anything for you, so why care? Just be you, man. You know? That's my message to my brothers, for real. The toxic masculinity, stop.
Right. You know, and then on that next note it's Pride season. It's the 50th year.
Yes.
Marsha P was really the beginning of it all. What does Pride mean to you, especially this year with everything that's happened?
Pride, I feel that, in a sense, like me being able to be here when somebody that's like me could not, for something so little or nothing, like that, I feel it makes me blessed. It makes me appreciate that much, even much more. And I just want to make sure that everybody remembers our brothers and sisters as well. Everybody that has been taken from us, whether it be police brutality or hate crime, gang violence, like neither is okay and nothing is justifiable. And it's also sad to say that we need to stop just paying attention when it's a cop killing a black man or a black woman. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing this to each other too. It's time for a turnabout. It's senseless. It's like, tell me, like, I just want one person in that position to let me know what in your right mind is telling you that you doing this is, what makes it okay? What's justifiable from you killing your brother on the next block rather than and rallying the next day for somebody that was killed by an officer? We should be rallying for everything that is going on. Every death has been an injustice. Every death could have been prevented. You know what I'm saying? People stand up for each other. People are paying attention. If people are thinking and understanding that sometimes you need to be an adult in the situation even. Like, God bless Diana, that it didn't go any farther than it did. But once again, like I said, you look at that video, it just looks like a bunch of cowards, man.
Truly, truly. Well, you know what? Let's transition into some healing music. I know you've got a new track you want to release. Yeah. No, it's beautiful. That's what we're here for.
Oh, man.
We're here for that. I want to hear it, and that's what this platform is for. It's to give that voice and to really shine a light and really even educate our own community on how we can grow. So go ahead, Graffitti, please take over this stage and make our hearts grow with this beautiful music you have for us. I am looking forward to this performance. And by the way, Graffitti, where can people find you on Instagram? What's the handle?
Oh, my Instagram handle is The Official SP. It's THEE Official SP.
Make sure to hit that like button, folks. It's real important to support these local artists and help them as they're growing and on the rise. So take it over from here, Graffitti. We're looking forward to this.
Go and let your light shine through. I got right. You got right. It's all right. I'm looked at my soul for a minute. That I lost control for a minute. Nothing feels so cold, so alone for a minute. Now I hit the vibe, you I know ain't no limit. When I live my truth, yo, it set my soul free. At first I had a dream, think one day was really me. Love is love, we all deserve our own happily. It ain't nobody else's business, ain't no clue then they can't see. I've got
pride. You've got pride. It's all right.
Hey, get it.
But I'm a rider. Stick with the lineup. You got a right to. Then we be free. I know that they judge us. Never know what's up. They hate out of fear. Stop killing me. I stay for my sisters. My brothers, my haters. Take everybody that's with us. It's right to be. Shouldn't be so hot. Shouldn't be so cold. I must be useful enough. In case that you just didn't know. Oh! I got pride, man. You got pride?
I got pride.
Right. It's all right. Yeah. Baby, I got pride, yo, I'm fired up. And remember, Dr. Martin Luther King said, one day I dreamed that my children would be judged by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. Get to know somebody that you're not familiar with, get to know. Like, literally get to know. Like, hey, how you doing? Like, you married, you got kids, what do you do? You know what I mean? Get into a conversation. You gotta stop this. We can. Just open up your mind. I got pride, you're on fire up, baby. I got pride, you're on fire up, baby. I got pride. Let's switch it up one more time, all right? 1, 2, 3, let's get it. I got pride. I email, baby. You rock the party.
You know what? That was amazing, Graffitti. Thank you so much for hitting our stage. Thank you for sharing your talent. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for what you said and standing up and really educating us. I really appreciate you. Thank you, folks, for watching us and tuning into Graffitti. Make sure to hit that like button and support this local artist. Stay tuned for the next artist. Our next guest is an LGBT ally. She was an American Idol finalist, and she won a Hollywood Music in Media Award. You've seen her perform at various Pride events. Please welcome Effie Passero. How's it going, Effie?
Hi, how's it going?
How's it going? I am so excited to interview you. Love it, love it. So let's get started. I hear that you have an interesting story to tell us, where you are now and how you got there. So go ahead, take the mic. I'm so interested. What's going on?
Well, I've been in Mexico for the past 3.5 months. I had a tour lined up here in early March. And as soon as me and my singing partner arrived, the entire earth, went to shambles. So instead of going back to America, we both decided to stay here for a while. And I have just become so infatuated with the community here that I've just been staying and helping out when I can and singing and making music with some other beautiful people. And if there's one way to stop quarantine, it's here in Mexico.
Definitely, definitely. That sounds like you're really finding a way to make the best of your situation. How are you spending your time?
I have started cooking a lot, like most humans right now, and I sleep a lot. I play a lot of video games. They just reopened the beaches today, so hopefully I will be able to start going back to the beach. But mostly I've just been working with my other friends in quarantine, and we've been doing a few live streams together, doing a few fundraisers for the city of Puerto Vallarta, and we also have been taking part in their Pride events here. So I have been very, very busy musically, which I'm very grateful for.
Definitely, definitely. And, did I hear this right, that you have a family member or someone that's recently joined the family? Tell us more about that. I would love to know because I'm excited. More folks, more the merrier.
Yeah. My brother, he lives in Beverly Hills, and he works for Amazon, and he recently came out to us, and with everybody, we kind of always knew, but we just wanted him to feel comfortable, and now I'm so proud of him because he has just projectiled into this confident, beautiful young man, and I love him to pieces, and being able to go out with him in WeHo and be able to just see him in his social butterfly self, it's so beautiful. And I'm so grateful that I've been able to watch that firsthand.
Definitely. Do you find yourself just kind of watching your brother grow in a way that is just super beautiful and just finding new folks and even you yourself connecting to that? What folks have you met maybe through your brother or even stories and stuff? Have you seen anything? I would love to hear that.
He joined a dodgeball league. So I have actually gone to like Revolver and Trunks with them, and they are such nice young men. I'm just really happy that he's found his tribe, and his tribe is continually evolving and changing with him. And everybody is so welcoming to him, which I appreciate more than anything in the world. Of course, I want my brother's friends to be welcoming and loving, but not everybody is so lucky to be immediately just taken up under somebody's wings like that. So it's been really beautiful, and I'm happy for him.
Definitely. And kind of adding to that a little bit, as a sister, what does the word ally really mean to you? Because a lot of folks kind of throw the word ally around and they don't quite know what that definition really means. But I mean, especially now that you have a member of our family, of the LGBT family, how does that word ally and what does that mean to you now?
Well, I've always been an ally. My best friend of 16 years, he is gay, and I've watched him grow as well, and I've watched his evolution through high school into our late 20s. Now we're almost 30, and it's like, oh God, where's the time gone? Yeah, I've always been an ally, and I've always been since high school. I've always been at prides with my friends. I've always been there to be their shoulder to cry on. If they felt unsafe to go home, I would always just hang out with them in the park or whatever. As a kid, that was my definition of being an ally, just being there for my friends. But now that I'm older, it's so much more than being there for your friends. You need to be there for everybody, and everybody in the bar that you're at, everybody at the Pride event that you're at. And it's such an important role to play because some communities, everybody's so mean to each other. I mean, sometimes in WeHo, it's really sad to see like the gay men can be so cruel to each other and so hypocritical, and they need the allies in their lives to kind of like keep them grounded sometimes. Be like, hey man, like what if I treated you like that? That's not the greatest. So I'm proud that I'm an open person, and I evolved as well. Like growing up in a small town, I wasn't always an ally. When I first met my best friend, I didn't like him because he was gay, and I had to grow as a person. So I hope that a lot of people take that opportunity to open their hearts and become an ally as well.
That's beautiful, Effie. Thanks so much for sharing your heart and that honest story there, and even your own journey and personal growth. It's really important to shed the light on that, especially in these times. And
yes, exactly.
It's so important for us to really create those bridges. And honestly, what do you think we as an LGBT community could do better to fix these bridges and these factions in the world that don't really accept who we are as community and as members of society? What do you think we could do to change that?
I don't think that the community has as much to do as it is with the rest of humanity. I think the LGBTQ community does so much for each other, and yes, they have their moments where they have quarrels with each other or they're cool. They can be a little focused on the outside a lot, but I think it's more to do with the people who don't understand. I mean, like I said, I grew up in a small town, and they were the least understanding. A lot of our elders are still in that mindset. I think that the change needs to come from the outer circles. And then once people are more welcoming and more understanding, and they try to at least see things from a different point of view, then maybe the LGBT community will do better as well. Because it's hard for a community to think positively when everything around them is deteriorating, and it's hard to see the light and be kind to each other when there's just desperation all around. So I think it's important that humanity as one just tries to be a little bit more understanding and loving and just be nice. Why is it so hard for people to be nice nowadays?
Right? I mean, you know, just treating folks like humans and just loving one another, and with simple things like respect. It's just it's a simple common thing we could do. It was great chatting with Effie about her experience working as an ally with the LGBT community. She mentioned some really important points. If you'd like to watch Effie's performance for Our Pride, go to ourpride.org. Thank you again so much, Effie, for joining us tonight. And I wanted to say this. Music is a universal language. Music is good for our minds and our souls. Music is a way of delivering a message and connecting people and driving a movement. Our LGBT musicians today are using their talents to bring people together. And now, more than ever, we need the power of music to connect people across all spectrums, regardless of who they are and what they believe in. We want to thank today's guests, OneUp Duo, Joey Suarez, Jaki Nelson, Graffitti Notes SP, and Effie Passero for being with us and sharing their talents. And we want to thank you, the audience, for joining us tonight. Next, join Chrissy Carpenter in Everyday Pride, featuring remarkable stories of how LGBT community members took action during the pandemic to help our society.